Hello, I'm Glenn Thompsett and a very warm welcome to TV Cruise Channel's guide to big cruise ships. Over the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to be taking you on board some of the world's biggest cruise ships to experience the most exciting and latest innovations at sea. But is bigger really better? Well, here to answer that is Jane Archer, cruise journalist for the Daily Telegraph. Jane, lots of ships out there. Lovely to see you, by the way. Is bigger really better?
Well, I'd say it's different. I mean, that's the thing. Bigger is different. And obviously, if you think about it, I mean, a big ship, you can get a lot of stuff on there. So if you want to go on a cruise ship which has lots of activities, lots of restaurants, basically things that are just going to keep you non-stop activity throughout the day, of course, bigger is better. If you don't like the sound of that, well, then no, it isn't better. Just how big are we talking big? I mean, you know, a lot of these cruise ships are literally a floating city these days, aren't they? Are we talking huge? We are talking really, really big. So the biggest one, Harmony of the Seas, you're talking of about 6,600 passengers that you can get on that when it's full. That's a lot of people. That's more people than live in my village. Obviously, the larger cruise ships means there's more to do as well, doesn't it? I mean, we all like different things. I like small and cosy. I like going to a small pub, having a cosy meal. A lot of folks like going to a larger place and having lots more to do. Is that the case with larger ships? It is. Actually, what is very clever, a lot of the design on the big ships is that you can have very, very big venues, which is a lot of people like the huge venues. It's like going into, I don't know, sort of a really big modern day pub, if you like. And they also have smaller ones as well. So on the big ships, you can have a mix. And that's really nice. I mean, that comes down to the design, and some of the designs, as I say, are very, very clever. And they also put in a lot of venues. So as you're walking along, you don't think, oh my goodness, this is huge because I'm just looking down one great big corridor. Because what you're actually seeing are lots of little venues, lots of little things, you know, to go and see and do. And it helps to break it up. Are these ships referred to as resort-style ships then, Jane? Yes, very much so, yes. Yes, they're floating resorts. I mean, they're what you would get in a land-based resort, but it happens to be at sea and it can take you, therefore, to lots of different destinations, which is fantastic. What's the biggest wow factor then for you on a ship like this, a large ship? Oh, gosh, the biggest wow factor, a specific wow factor, do you mean? I would say I've got two, actually. They're two completely different ones, so I'm going to go for those because you'll see why. So one is the sky ride on the new Carnival Vista, which is just an extraordinary thing. I mean, literally, it is, if you can imagine it, you're on the top of the ship, and it's like a track that goes around it, and there are these bikes that are hanging down from it, like recumbent. You're sitting into a pod, if you like, and you cycle around the top of the ship. Wow. And yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. It is the wow factor. It is a wow, I think. And the other one for me, as I say, is completely different, and it's a venue that's on the Royal Caribbean's Anthem class ships, which Anthem of the Seas is one of those, and it's a venue called 270. And it's a huge venue. It's what you were talking about, a big venue with glass walls on three sides. So you've got the most fantastic views. And in the daytime, it's just a wonderful place to go and sit if you're not wanting to be outside, because you've got the views out to sea. And then in the evening, it transforms into this entertainment venue with these fantastic video screens all the way around. The windows become the video screens, and it is absolutely superb. Wow. We'll be talking in more detail about those two ships you've mentioned, the Anthem of the Seas and Carnival Vista, a little bit later on. But do you think the larger ship then, Jane, is bringing down the average age of those people going on cruises now? It is, yes. I mean, in a way, it's kind of misleading to say that because, yes, on certain times of the year, the average age is going to come down. So if you think about it, if you're going to get a lot of families on, the only time that families really can cruise is during school holidays. Now, obviously, school holidays differ slightly between when it's going to be the school holidays in the UK and then in the States. But when you're out of season, when the schools are in, if you like, then the average age is probably going to be higher. But yes, during school holidays, the average age on board the ships is coming down. And a lot of people who would normally say, oh, no, I'm never going to go on a cruise, it's boring, it's stuffy. It's all the things that people think cruising is, and are wrong, by the way. But the fact that these new big ships with all of these amazing facilities on, they are looking at it now. So 4 ships to look at: Norwegian Epic, Anthem of the Seas, Carnival Vista and Harmony of the Seas. Let's look at Norwegian Epic first of all then. 21 culinary dining areas is what I'm told.
Huge. 21.
21. Well, I would say it's more like there are 21 places to eat.
Wow, okay.
Yes. So some are restaurants, some are sort of bars, and some are waiter service, some are self-service. So it's a huge mix. Obviously, you can have your room service as well. But there's certainly 21 places to eat, lots of choice. You can have French, you can have Italian, you can have Japanese teppanyaki, you can have sushi, you can have all sorts of things. And you can go and stand in a nice bar as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Make out that you're sort of home in a pub somewhere.
Yes, absolutely.
They're huge, aren't they, these places, these ships? Absolutely massive. Las Vegas-style entertainment. We're talking Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and all that sort of thing going on.
Yes, yeah. It's quite spectacular. I mean, the theatres on these ships are amazing. I mean, we're talking state-of-the-art. I would say possibly that they've got more on them in terms of modern equipment than you would ever find in the West End these days. Quite stunning.
Now, the Cavern Club, legendary Liverpool club, of course, the Norwegian Epic now boasts that very club on board.
It does, yes.
What's that like?
Well, it doesn't have the Beatles in it.
No Beatles. Does it have the memorabilia, though?
It has a bit of memorabilia in there, yes. I have to admit, I never went to the Cavern Club in Liverpool, so I can't actually compare it, but I suspect that the real one was a bit more of a dive.
Rock climbing. Now, how on earth can you get rock climbing on a ship?
Well, it's very easy. You put in a wall, and you put in, the places, the hangers to climb yourself up it. I've been up the wall on Norwegian Epic. You go to the top and ring the bell, and I'm very, very bad with heights, so that was quite a big achievement for me.
That's quite something to say to your friends when you get back home, is I've been rock climbing on a ship.
Absolutely.
That is quite something. 10-pin bowling, of course, abseiling, you can do that on board as well.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Fantastic.
It's all there on Epic, I'll tell you.
Now, an aqua park on this particular ship.
Yes, with water slides, and they're great water slides as well. I mean, we're not talking about tiny water slides, we're talking about big water slides. They're fast, you go whizzing down them. Great fun, I love them.
On my list of things here, it says studios for solo passengers. What does that mean?
Yes, that sounds good, doesn't it? Basically, they're single cabins. So if you're travelling on your own, instead of having to buy a cabin and pay a supplement, you go in one of these studios. They are small. I mean, if you do this, you're more or less touching wall to wall.
What does it comprise of? Literally a bed, and that's it?
It's a bed, and you get a bathroom, a very small bathroom. But what is really smart about these is that then the passengers who are in the studio cabins have their own private lounge.
Wow.
And so if you're travelling on your own, but maybe you're with a group of people, you can't all sit in these cabins, they're far too small. But you can all go to the lounge, and there's a TV in there and refreshments, and I believe that there's a board up there. So if you are on your own, you could put up on the board, I'm going ashore in Rome tomorrow, anyone want to join me?
Wow.
And so it's a great idea, brilliant.
Sounds wonderful. Still to come, Harmony of the Seas, also Carnival Vista, but we're going to talk now, Jane, about Anthem of the Seas, described as one of the most technologically advanced ships at sea.
Yes, it's the super fast Wi-Fi, the super fast check-in, a bionic bar, so you can have some robots to mix your cocktails for you. Some robots. It's like two robot arms, if you like.
Shaken, not stirred, sir.
Yes.
Shaken, not stirred.
Well, they don't talk, unfortunately. I think it'd be nicer if they did talk. You could go and have a quick chat with them or something like that.
Yeah.
And also in 270, which is the venue I was talking about, they've got the screens, as I say, that go 240 degrees round, but they've also got 6 robotic arms, if you like. There are screens that are on arms, and they are just amazing. The things that they can do with those, it's fantastic.
It's amazing. Ripcord by iFly. Explain that to me.
It's a flight simulator.
Right.
So you basically get all togged up, get put in a wind tunnel, and fly.
It's big enough for that. Have you tried that?
I have, yes.
And how did you get on?
Well, I'm told I did very well. I have to say, I was very glad to get out.
So literally flying like this?
Yes. But I mean, you do have somebody to hold you, because obviously you're not going to be an expert the moment you get in. I found it quite scary because, as I said earlier, I'm not very good with heights. So I was absolutely fine when I was at this level. But then they took me up. I was trying to yell at them to say, no, come down. But the noise in there is just unbelievable.
So
you can't hear anything. Your face is just
literally G-force, almost like that G-force effect. Your face is rippling and
absolutely. They do say there's no point in trying to talk, and there really isn't any point. But you've got to balance yourself, and if you're any good, then they will let go of you, and then you can hover there.
That's brilliant.
It's great fun.
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, it is.
If you go on the ship, you can do that.
You can do it,
Fantastic.
and it's great fun, and it doesn't cost anything.
Wow, it's all part of the deal.
Yes.
Bionic bar. Now that sounds fascinating. If you're Steve Austin, the $6 million man, I can understand that. But the bionic bar, what does that mean?
Well, that's these robots, as I was telling you about. So they mix cocktails. They only do cocktails there, and so you can order it on an iPad-like machine, and it goes through, and then you can see them, and they get their cups, and they go and they get the various liquids in it, shake it about, and there you are.
All
Cocktail
this
provided.
That's amazing. All this on the Anthem of the Seas, the ship that Jane's talking about at the moment. Something else: Seaplex, bumper cars, roller disco, trapeze. It's all there by the sound
and this
of it.
is again another one of these really big venues that's on this ship, and it's a fantastic one because it is all of those things, not necessarily at the same time. So you can have the roller skates, and then the roller skate session ends, and then you've got the dodgem cars, which are great fun. I mean, you know, who can't enjoy going on the dodgem cars? And as I say, then it just becomes all these different things, and in the evening it can become a disco. Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Virtual balconies. Now, I'm one of these sort of people and likes to watch the world go by. I love people watching. Can you do that with a virtual balcony? Not really, no.
What you're going to see on the virtual balcony is a view from outside. So if you can imagine, there is a camera strapped to the hull. And that's being fed back into your cabin, basically, but it looks great. I mean, it really does look like you've got this balcony, but you're not going to get people there at all, and you know, mostly you're going to see that when you're sailing.
So would you agree with the description that it is one of the most technologically advanced ships on the sea?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd have to. Yeah, yes. It's amazing. It's just amazing what they've done on there.
Fantastic. All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be exploring more of the world's biggest cruise ships with Jane in just a few minutes, so do stay with us. Hello, good to have your company. Welcome back to TV Cruise Channel's Guide to Big Cruise Ships, and Jane Archer is still with me. We're talking about those large cruise ships. You say you've been on all of them, Jane.
I have, yes.
Are you going to single out any particular one as
your
favourite? She's sitting on the fence here. Very sensible, very sensible. Let's talk about Harmony of the Seas then. Another one of the large vessels, ships. Hate that word, vessels.
Do you?
Ships I like.
Ships is good, but sometimes you do need another word.
A nautical term.
Vessels
is
works.
okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Biggest ships in the world, neighbourhoods including Central Park on Harmony of the Seas. I can't believe you've got a Central Park on a ship, surely.
Yeah. Yes, you have.
Really?
It's quite stunning, actually. I have to say that's probably one of my favourite areas on the ship. And yeah, it's real trees, it's real shrubs that are growing there, and it's open to the elements. If it rains in Central Park.
So you literally have a park on a ship?
Yes.
Now this has got to give you some idea that this is a huge ship.
This is a huge ship.
Harmony of the Seas also has a boardwalk featuring a full-size carousel.
A full-size carousel, yes. It's lovely. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it sounds huge, doesn't it, a full-size carousel? But actually, I mean, it's not. It doesn't look that big. It doesn't look out of place on the boardwalk at all. It just looks right, if you know what I mean.
It also boasts the ultimate abyss.
The ultimate abyss, yes. Now, this is a real scary ride, actually. It's a 100-foot drop. So if you can imagine, the ship is divided into various zones. So the boardwalk is one of those zones. But if you go up the top and you're into the sports zone, then you can jump onto the ultimate abyss and go very, 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 very fast down to the boardwalk.
Quicker than taking the lift, then?
It's a darn sight quicker than taking the lift. It's even quicker than using the stairs, which is the way I always go.
Can you imagine that? How did you get down here so quick?
Yes.
Took the abyss.
I took the abyss. Yes.
The Aqua Theatre is well worth a visit.
Aqua Theatre is amazing. It's you'll see it. I mean, you don't have to visit. It's right there. It's at the back of the boardwalk, and it's very clever. I've seen one of the shows, and what they do is when they're diving into it, obviously there's water. One hopes there's water, but at other times it is covered over, and so there's song and dance on it and all the rest of it, and then at the crucial moment it opens and down goes the divers. I'm
going to say to you now, Greece is the word. Greece is the word, Frankie Valli. Now, this is the first ship to feature the full-size show at sea, isn't it?
In terms of Greece, yes. It's not the first one to have a proper musical, a full-length musical. It's not entirely the whole thing, but it was beautifully done, absolutely amazing. And they even had the car. If anyone knows the film Grease, and let's face it, who doesn't? but they had the car there. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Loved it.
Brilliant. Okay, so plenty to see, plenty to do on board the Harmony of the Seas. Let's move on then to Carnival Vista then. The biggest fun ship at sea, this one's described as.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yes, I think so. I mean,
they all sound pretty fun to me.
They're all fun. I was going to say it's quite difficult to say that really because they are all fun. But Carnival calls it fun ships. They've kind of taken that as a branding, so I guess we'll let them have that.
So attracting the whole family, literally all ages.
Of course, yes.
All ages.
And all of these ones that we've been talking about, absolutely for the families. They're just wonderful for families. And we're talking about children really from age 6 months, 0 almost, not quite 0, but 6 months, teenagers, you know, the whatever they're called when they've passed teenagedom and they're moving into their 20s. I mean, they're brilliant for all of these age groups.
Many
absolutely.
words to describe that one. The biggest fun ship at sea.
We won't go to that.
There's quite a few things to go through here. Sky Ride, we've got the first IMAX at sea, Red Frog Pub and Brewery, Havana Cabins, Waterworks. Let's start with the Sky Ride. What's that like?
The Sky Ride is this big track that goes around the top of the ship, which I was talking about before, with these, I think they call them recumbent bikes, which is a bit of a strange name, but basically it's like a seat that hangs beneath this and you can cycle around it. There's 2 tracks and it's very clever because if you start on the inside track, at some point you cross over to the outside one. So obviously if you start on the outside track, you cross over and go onto the inside one. So, you know, it's...
is it quite hairy?
It's hairy enough that actually I didn't do it. I have to hold my hands up and say I got almost as close as I am to you, and then realised that although I was going to do the inside track, I would cross to the outside, and I had to say I'm sorry,
really?
I can't do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
White knuckling then.
Well, as I say, if you're not good at heights, it's fine. If you don't have a problem with heights, it's absolutely no problem.
You're probably more akin then to the first IMAX at sea. You probably enjoyed that one.
Yes, yeah, that's stunning. That's absolutely amazing. I mean, literally an IMAX at sea. It's just spectacular. Absolutely spectacular.
Red Frog Pub and Brewery, if you're...
my favourite.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. I just love the Red Frog. It's got a great atmosphere in there. And they do pub quizzes and all this sort of thing. So, yeah, my kind of venue.
Havana Cabins as well?
Yeah, it's obviously, it's linked to Cuba, if you like. So it's got this kind of laid-back vibe. And instead of having a balcony that's out to sea, it's got like a patio, which is rather nice, actually. So you've got a patio and the promenade deck walk comes around it. So you can be sitting on your patio and people walk past it. But you then get private access during the day to the Havana pool. So you have your own, you know, sort of special area where you can go. It opens in the evening to all, but in the daytime you've got your own private area to go to, which is very nice.
Final thing on my list is Waterworks.
Yes, my water slides again. I love the water slides.
Is it called Waterworks?
I think it is actually. Now that you've said it, I wish it wasn't.
I know, exactly.
But no, they've got a couple of really great water slides on there, and as I say, that's more my cup of tea, definitely.
We've done those 4 ships. They sound idyllic for families of all ages.
Absolutely great fun. Yes, they are.
A lot of folks will fear that if a ship is so big with so many people on board, there's going to be a compromise on service. Now, that surely isn't the case.
You're not going to get personal service. I mean, you've got to be realistic about it. And I guess if you went to the Red Frog pub every evening, yes, of course, the barman would get to know you. But if you're going to flip from one venue to another venue to another venue to try them all, and let's face it, that's the best thing to do, the barman isn't going to know you. Whereas on a smaller ship, where the chances are you will be going to the same bar most evenings, then yes, of course, they're going to get to know you. And on some of the smaller ships, they are actually trained. They have to get to know all of their customers by name within a couple of days. Of course you can't do that. If you're talking about 4,000, 6,000 people, it can't be done, and it would be very unfair to expect the crew to do it. But the service is very, very good. As I say, it's not going to be personal. It's not going to be greeting you by name,
great service,
or prompt, sort of giving you your drink as you sit down. But it's going to be very good service.
With so many places to fill, though, Jane, can you haggle a bit of a deal when you book up? Do you think
there are some good deals out there?
There's a lot of places to fill, isn't there?
Yes, there are, and there are some good deals out there. It pays to keep an eye on what's happening. Obviously, sort of as you get closer to departure date as well, sometimes you can get some very good deals. It might not be that the price is less, but it might be that you can get more for your money. So you would be, for instance, get maybe some free flights. You might get a drinks package that's included in it. You might get your gratuities paid, some shore excursions paid for, etc., etc. So there is always worth looking around to see what there is for sure.
And I'm guessing something for every budget as well. Depends what you want to spend.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the accommodation, you know, you can have the cheap and cheerful combination if you like, or you can splash out on some absolutely stunning ones. You know, sort of the loft suites, you know, which have their, you know, sort of a royal genie if you're on the Royal Caribbean ones. And you know, it's a butler, but it's done in Royal Caribbean style, and so they're there to look after you. So it just depends what you want to pay.
So you could have your own Parker, yes, my lady.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Fantastic.
Except they don't talk like that because they are genies.
Where do you see in reality, Jane, the cruise industry going? It's come on in leaps and bounds over the last 10, 15 years, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Huge ships of, well, different ships of all shapes and sizes.
Yes.
Where's it going to? I mean, where can the cruise industry go to? Where can it sail off to?
Are you talking about in terms of size of ships?
Size and service, because as we've established in this programme, there's everything there, from IMAX cinemas to abseiling to abysses to you name it, it's there. Where can it go to?
Well, I mean, I think in terms of size of ship, it can go as big as they want it to. I mean, I think Harmony of the Seas has proved that in terms of the size of it. Now, whether anyone will ever go any bigger than that, I'm not entirely sure. I suspect not. I think that maybe they would sort of stick at that as a maximum. Maybe they will become a little bit smaller. But all the time they will be looking for new, exciting things to put on there, something different, something to excite people. I mean, I'm waiting for the very first proper roller coaster.
Ah, yeah, that would be good.
I think that would be great fun.
A roller coaster ship?
A roller coaster, yes.
Now you've got me thinking.
Yeah.
You've got the cruise industry thinking about that one as well.
Yes, that would be quite challenging, I think. But I mean, that would be amazing. Then there are ships that have something akin to it. They call it a coaster, but it's not. But something that was, you know, really, really scary like that would be amazing.
Fascinating. Jane, I could talk to you all day about the different cruise ships out there on the seas.
I could talk all day about them.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for coming in, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again very soon, right here on TV Cruise Channel. Bye for now.